Have you ever wondered what happens after we die? It's a question that has captivated humanity since we first gained consciousness of our own mortality. It's a question that transcends cultures, religions, and even scientific disciplines. Today, we're diving into some of the most fascinating theories about the afterlife, exploring the perspectives of science, religion, and even a healthy dose of the truly mysterious. From the well-defined tenets of established religions to the ethereal and often baffling accounts of near-death experiences, we'll journey through a cosmic landscape of possibilities. We'll examine the scientific perspective on what happens to our physical bodies and delve into the intriguing realm of consciousness. Can it possibly exist separately from our grey matter? Fasten your seatbelts, get ready for a mind-bending exploration, and as always, keep looking up. From a purely biological standpoint, death is the irreversible cessation of all biological functions that sustain a living organism. We can track it, measure it, even predict it to some degree with our current medical technology. When the heart stops beating, blood flow ceases, depriving the brain and other organs of the oxygen they need to function. Brain activity, the very essence of who we are, our thoughts, memories, personality, ceases. Now, while this all sounds very finite and, let's face it, a little depressing, science is primarily concerned with the observable universe, and the question of what happens to our consciousness, that subjective experience of being, well, us after death, is still a topic of much debate. Some neuroscientists believe that consciousness is purely a product of our brain activity and simply ceases to exist when the brain dies. Think of it like a computer shutting down. No power, no processing, no data. But like many things in science, it's not quite that simple. The very nature of consciousness itself is still a mystery. We haven't unlocked all the secrets of the brain, and how this clump of neurons gives rise to our subjective experience of the world is still a point of contention and active research. So, while science gives us a clear picture of what happens to our physical bodies, the question of what happens to our consciousness remains unanswered. Does it vanish entirely? Does it transform into something else? Or does it embark on a journey into a realm beyond our current scientific understanding? For millennia, religions worldwide have offered their own interpretations of what awaits us after death. These beliefs, often deeply ingrained in cultural and societal frameworks, provide comfort, guidance, and a sense of purpose. Let's start with one of the more popular concepts, heaven and hell. Found in Christianity and Islam, this dichotomy suggests that our actions in life determine our fate in the afterlife. Live a virtuous life, and you're rewarded with eternal bliss in heaven. Stray from the righteous path, and you might find yourself in the less desirable, let's say, warm location. Then we have reincarnation, a central tenet in Hinduism, Buddhism, and other Eastern religions. Reincarnation posits that our soul or essence is reborn into a new physical form after death. This cycle of death and rebirth continues until we achieve enlightenment or liberation from the cycle itself. Ancient Egyptian mythology offers another fascinating perspective. They believed in a complex underworld ruled by Osiris, the god of the dead. The heart of the deceased was weighed against the feather of truth. A heart lighter than the feather secured passage into the glorious afterlife, while a heavier heart, well, let's just say it wouldn't be a pleasant outcome. These are just a few examples of the diverse and often elaborate beliefs surrounding the afterlife. While these belief systems offer comfort and meaning, it's important to remember that they are not scientifically verifiable. They are interpretations, stories passed down through generations, shaping our understanding of life and death. Chapter 3. Back to the beginning, exploring the concept of reincarnation. Let's dive a little deeper into the concept of reincarnation. The idea that we might get a second chance, or several, is a rather appealing one, isn't it? No more what-ifs or regrets, just a fresh start in a brand new life. In Hinduism and Buddhism, reincarnation is tied to the concept of karma. Our actions in this life, both good and bad, create an energy that influences our rebirth. Positive actions lead to a more favorable rebirth, while negative actions might land you in, well, let's just say less than ideal circumstances. Some believe that reincarnation occurs immediately after death, while others propose a waiting period in a spiritual realm before the soul begins its next journey. And what about the memories of our past lives? Some cultures believe we retain fragments of these memories, surfacing in dreams or through a sense of déjà vu. Now, while reincarnation lacks empirical evidence, the idea holds a certain allure. It speaks to our innate desire for justice, for things to balance out. It also offers a sense of hope, suggesting that death is not the end, but rather a transition to a new beginning. Chapter 4. A glimpse beyond the veil. Unpacking near-death experiences. Near-death experiences, or NDEs, occupy that intriguing space where science and the unexplained collide. People who've had NDEs often report eerily similar experiences. A sense of peace, out-of-body sensations, traveling through a tunnel towards a bright light, even encounters with deceased loved ones. Now, while science often attributes NDEs to physiological changes in the brain during trauma, like oxygen deprivation or the release of endorphins, some researchers believe these experiences might be evidence of something more profound. Could NDEs be glimpses into another dimension? A realm beyond our current understanding? Some people return from NDEs with life-altering perspectives, reporting a diminished fear of death and a renewed appreciation for life. Others claim to have gained knowledge or insights that they couldn't have possibly known before. While the scientific community remains skeptical, the sheer volume of NDE accounts and the consistency of the reported experiences keep the door open for further exploration. Are they merely hallucinations produced by our brains in times of stress? Or could they be a signal, a message from the other side, hinting at a reality beyond our current comprehension? Chapter 5. The Quantum Enigma. Can consciousness exist outside the body? Now let's venture into the world of quantum physics, where things get really strange and the line between science fiction and reality blurs. Some physicists propose that consciousness might not be confined to our physical bodies. Instead, they suggest it could exist independently, perhaps even interacting with a universal consciousness or quantum field. This concept, often referred to as quantum consciousness, is highly speculative. It suggests that our brains might not produce consciousness, but rather act as receivers, tuning into this universal field. And if consciousness is separate from the physical body, could it survive the death of the body? While this is all very theoretical, quantum physics has a knack for turning our understanding of reality on its head. Just look at the concepts of entanglement and superposition. Particles existing in multiple states at once and influencing each other instantaneously across vast distances. Stranger things have happened. If consciousness does indeed exist on a quantum level, it opens up a whole new realm of possibilities for what happens after death. Could we be interconnected in ways we can't even fathom? Could our consciousness transcend time and space, existing in a realm beyond our current understanding? Outro, the great unknown. A final thought. While we may never know for sure what happens after we die, these theories offer fascinating insights into the possibilities. From the definitive nature of biological death to the more esoteric concepts of consciousness existing beyond the physical realm, the afterlife remains a topic of endless fascination and debate. What do you believe happens after death? Does our consciousness simply cease to exist, or does it embark on a new journey into a realm beyond our current comprehension? Do we reunite with loved ones, reincarnate into a new life, or perhaps merge with a universal consciousness? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, keep those minds curious and those imaginations open.